A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to hit subscribe. So we finished off our kind of rinseless wash comparison, and Koch won. It was kind of the cheapest and it seemed to work pretty well as well for me. After I'd done that test, or during that test, I was doing a bit of SDS stalking on some of these products, and something very interesting came to my attention. It got me thinking. So I'm going to use Optimum No Rinse as my example one here for a number of reasons. It's a good product, come third in the test overall. The reason I'm using it is you can go to the Optimum website, click on SDS, and they list all the SDS, and it's there for this product. And within their SDS, in their components section, they seem to list every single component of this product, including water, which is very useful to me, and I wish they all did it, because SDS stalks some of these, and some of them, the component section is completely blank and it doesn't tell me anything that's in there. So it's weird the way the SDSs are generated, but I love it when brands put like a full set of stuff on there, including water, with a range of percentages. Now, Optimum No Rinse Wash and Shong, and according to their SDS, is roughly around 89% to 93% water or something like that. So let's just say, for the purposes of argument, 90% of this product is water. What's the rest of it? Well, about 10% of it seems to be two different types of surfactants or lubricants, like soya-based stuff. And then the remnants of the percentages, you've got a bit of colour in there, tiny little bit of glycol, maybe to make it the solution a bit shiny, I don't know, make it more, I don't know. You've got scent, and you've probably got some antimicrobial stuff as well to keep it from spoiling, which is really, really useful. But I want to touch on that 90% water thing. Now, if we just come back here, let's draw a bucket full of water. Now, let's just, for the purposes of this discussion, say that we've got 10 litres in here, 10,000 ml, and here is our plastic dosing thing, and that has 40 ml in there of Optimum No Rinse, or rinseless wash generally, which will give you a rough concentration of 1 to 250, you know, because they use them at 1 to 256. It gets hard to micromillimeter, but that will get you there where you've got to use it. But we know really that 90% of this is water, so 10% is active ingredients. So let's say 4 ml of surfactant, or let's not say surfactant, or whatever, polymer or whatever, let's just say active ingredient, even though there might be better words. You know, not water. There's 90 ml of water, so 4 ml of active. So really we know that effectively you're using these products not at a 250 to 1 ratio, but really active ingredient. So if we divide 10,000 by 4, we get 1 to 2,500, don't we? Yeah, we do. So really, without the 90% water, this is the actual ratio that you use the product of. Really interesting, because it ties in a little bit to me with car shampoos. So lots of car shampoos out there, you know, you go to Halfords or other stores, and they're most of them about 1 to 100. So you'd use about, with 10 litres, you use about 100 ml. And some of them are kind of like 1 to 250, which are a little bit more concentrated. But some of the ones in the UK, the ones that I use, well, let's just go, actually, we'll step it up even more. Gyeon Bath is 1 to 500, or Bathe. These two here, I think both brands have tried to remove the water completely from these products. That's a 1900 to 1 shampoo, and that's a 1 to 2000. So they've managed to get rid of all of the water virtually and get you up to 1 to 2,000. When you do that, your cost per wash goes down because you're not paying for water. Now, I would imagine that you've got to have some water in there. It can't just be pure surfactant. So maybe if you took a little bit of that 500th, so it's a 1 to 2,000, you could actually then put that rest as water. So what you'd have is an extreme concentrate rinseless wash, which matches what we're doing with car shampoos. And when you do that, you're not paying water. But my question is, do you really need 90% water in these? And of course, the water content will vary. Like I've touched on before, I think it'd be really, it'd be almost a brilliant thing for a standard where brands with a water-based product like this have to put their water volume as overall percentage, because then it's a good layman's guide of working out how much value you're getting across all these different products. I don't think we're ever going to get that, to be honest. But the thing is, generally with them, they have probably all got a lot of water in them, but you just don't know. You don't know. Now, there's a couple here, for example, this one, I think you use it around about a 1 to 480. This one, I think you use it about 1 to just under 400. So they're slightly more concentrated. So you could say the water level is down on these. I believe the rest of these are all around 1 to 200 to 1 to 256. So they're all roughly the same ratio. So you'd think these are quite good value. That one is at the cost per wash. Now, someone in the comments, the thing that triggered all this was someone said, John, you need to check out one called Next Gen ZNR, which is a 1 to 1000. So it looks like someone's thought about all of this stuff that I'm saying here and thought we can get rid of the water and sell you this. And this product here, I believe, is about, I could have the prices wrong. If you try and hit their website in the UK, it puts up a block and says coming soon. But if you VPN into America and then go to the website, it allows it. But then if you try and put your delivery address, it only allows America or Canada. So I don't think you can get this in UK, although it does say it does worldwide shipping, but it doesn't give you the option at the moment. Maybe it's coming soon or whatever, who cares? But the cool thing is, I believe this is $30 for 1 litre. And it's 1 litre, not 947 mil or whatever it is, 943 or whatever. So 1,000 mil. So if we look at that product, if we go, forget about the 10 litres now, in our test we did 15 litres as a standard. So at 1 to 1,000, if you've got 15 litres, you'll have 15 mil of product, okay? So if you have a litre for 30 quid, that gives you 66. Does it give you 66? Yeah, because 100 mil would give you, does that give you 66 washes? Oh, this is where my maths is all going to go pear-shaped, isn't it? Well, 150 mil would give you 10 washes. Yeah, so it sounds about right, doesn't it? 67. I'm sorry if I get this wrong. People will go nuts if I get it wrong, but I'm just doodling on the board and my maths isn't the best. But I think you get 66.666 recurring washes out of 1,000 mil, which sounds about, yeah, sounds about right to me. Therefore, if you divide $30 by 66, I think you get roughly, what, 45 cents, which is roughly going to be about 35p per wash based on our 15 litre calculation. If you're doing 10 litre, it'd be like maybe 20p or something, I don't know, whatever. But our average in the test was £1.50. So really, the only difference between these two products, an average one, and O&R was average in the test, is that that's 90% water. And what will that be in terms of water? It'd be a lot less, won't it? So the active ingredient cost will be higher, and you pay a lot less. And of course, that's for 15 litres, so your real cost, if you're mixing up 5 litres, would be next to nothing or whatever. So this on the board for me, it's been done over here. Interestingly enough, it's the UK. I mean, Gyeon had a, I think there's a Bathe Essence version of that. I don't know if they still sell it, and I think that was a close to 1 to 2,000. Probably no one bought it. Who knows? Like the wet coat concentrate, no one bought that, even though it's better value. But for me, I always look at that kind of value thing. But when you have brands selling high concentrates with, you know, that are good brands, it suddenly becomes less appealing to go down here and buy these products where you're really paying for lots of water. So with this is at the 1900 to 1 shampoo, but I'll just think of it as a 1 to 2,000 for argument's sake. If you put, oh God, oh God. If you put 75 mil of this in a litre bottle, it's just got 75 mil, it's at 1 to 2,000. If you mix it half down with water, so you've got 75 mil water, 75 mil product, it's a 1 to 1,000, and you've got 150 mil at 1 to 1,000. If you double it again, so you add another 150 mil of water, you're up to 300 mil total, you've got a 1 to 500. If you double it again, you've got 600 mil total, and you're down to 1 to 250. If you double it again, you're over a litre and you've got a 1 to 125 shampoo. But the thing is, you're only actually using 75 ml of surfactant. So there is, I did a video a while back called like The Dark Art of Selling Water. There is an element of that, I think, to all these detailing products. And that's why I'm always keen, like, to look at the products and cut through and try and find out what the usage ratio is. Try and find out what that value and cost per wash is, because it varies massively. And with water-based products and surfactants, they're not particularly expensive materials. But if you consider you're only probably getting 50 ml of one surfactant, 50 ml of another surfactant in that bottle, for example, if they could cut out all that water, then they're not shipping it to you either. The problem might be is that if they've got a little bottle with 100 ml in it and a lot less water, they're going to struggle to sell that for 23 quid. So when you fill it up, you make a litre offering of something, it looks a lot more desirable and you'll pay a bit more money for it, I think. Which is probably how it goes. Because some of you guys don't like using concentrates, but for me, with Rinseless, you've got to dose it out anyway. So the only difference in dosing out a 1 to 2000 versus a 1 to 250 is just you pour less liquid in when you dose them. So it's a no-brainer. And I think what will happen is someone will come along and say, yeah, we can get the water content right down on this and do a 1 to 2000 Rinseless. And if it's good and it slashes the cost per wash, I'll be first in the queue to buy it. If that was in the UK, I'd have had that in the test, but I just don't think you can get it. But that's raising the bar, but I think someone can raise the bar even higher. American car soaps, I've not seen a 1 to 2000. No American company does them, as far as I know. I've seen ones that say high concentrate, but they're still not. They tend to be, a high concentrate American shampoo tends to be about 1 to 500. And I think that's probably because of the commercials involved, that they don't want to sell it to you at that high ratio because there's not as much profit in it. That's my thought. Whereas in the UK, it's like, it's such a saturated market in the UK. I think by doing that, you'll be able to stand out from the crowd a little bit. But it's getting saturated in America as well. America's a much bigger population with much more expendable wealth to buy all this stuff. And Americans, I think, are just less interested in price and value and all that sort of stuff. Not all of them. Some of my American viewers are really hot on it. But generally, as a market, I think they'll happily pay that, whatever these are, $20 in America. They're cheaper in America as well. I almost think, like, because Optimum was the first to come over to the UK and it was like 23 quid, that kind of set a price point. And I noticed that most of these float around the same price point as Optimum No Rinse. They float around it, some a bit more, some a bit lower. And that's why I think where we are at the moment, the Koch one seems to work, seems to have that dirt release stuff going on. It's nice and slick and smooth. You know, it rinses off the car, or it wipes off the car, sorry. You can just use it without any problem because, again, going back to that same argument, when you mix it out, there's only 4 ml of surfactant in there at that ratio. well, sorry, hypothetically, because I don't know the water content, I don't think, on that one. I'm sure it's on the SDS. If you go looking, they're pretty good with their SDSs as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So there's the interesting discussion, guys. Someone is going to raise the bar soon with Rinselesses and stick out a 1 to 2000. It'll be like a big boof flag in the ground saying, there you go, beat that. And then it's a bit like buying shampoo. Once you know that you've got ones that are really good, providing the product's good as well, and it's a legit surfactant in there, you know, and the technology's good and it feels all slick or whatever and wipes off. But when it's like a quarter of the price, then it's going to be, suddenly the standards change and all of these become less viable and all of them have to really start upping the concentration, or the one product that gives you the value is going to take the market as long as it's a credible brand, you know what I mean? Because you could go to buy the Audi or the Lidl waterless wash. They do exist. Some of you said, John, they got a waterless wash or rinseless wash or whatever in Audi, and it's like 30p. You buy a packet of carrots and you get a free waterless wash. But that wouldn't be a credible detailing brand. So a credible detailing brand that brings out a rinseless that's a 1 to 2,000, I think will do very well. There's how you disrupt the rinseless detailing industry. Right there, get rid of that water. Thoughts please in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Adios, Doug.